The bells of Copenhagen rang louder than ever before. Every eye was on her. Every heartbeat in sync with hers. Princess Leonor, radiant, poised, and more human than ever, walked down the aisle not as Spain's future queen, but as a woman in love. And at the altar, Prince Christian could no longer hide his joy. The cameras caught it. The world felt it. The moment history turned tender. The royal wedding the world had waited for, finally lived. From Madrid to Copenhagen, from Buckingham to Oslo, every royal house tuned in, holding their breath. But this wasn't just another ceremony. This was emotion made real. And the joy on Christian's face told a story no crown could ever contain. The morning began with silence. The streets of Copenhagen were lined with flowers, flags, and tears of pride. Spain's red and gold blended beautifully with Denmark's white and red, two nations united not by politics but by love. At Amalienborg Palace, Leonor prepared in her private suite, surrounded by her mother, Queen Letizia, her sister Sophia, and a small circle of confidants. The air was thick with emotion. This was more than a royal event, it was personal. Queen Letizia adjusted her daughter's veil with trembling hands. Her eyes, glistening with pride and nostalgia, met Leonor's reflection in the mirror. "You're ready," she whispered. Leonor smiled, a soft, knowing smile. "For once, I am exactly where I want to be." Outside, the carriages rolled slowly toward Frederickskirk, the marble church, where history would be written. Crowds chanted her name. Leonor, Leonor. Some held Spanish flags, others Danish hearts. For the first time, Europe's two royal bloodlines merged, and the people felt it. As the doors of the church opened, the world gasped. Leonor stood beneath the sunlight, wearing an ivory gown embroidered with the floral emblems of both nations, the Spanish pomegranate and the Danish daisy. It was subtle but symbolic. A bridge between two worlds. Inside, the atmosphere was reverent. King Felipe and Queen Letizia sat beside Denmark's Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary, their faces glowing with pride. But all eyes were drawn to one man, Prince Christian. As Leonor began her slow walk down the aisle, the cameras caught him breathing deeply, his hands trembling slightly. It wasn't nerves. It was awe. He had waited years for this moment, years of whispers, press intrusion, and relentless scrutiny. But now, as Leonor approached, nothing else existed. Just her. When their eyes met halfway, Christian's expression broke into something rare for a royal, pure, unguarded joy. He smiled, wide and unapologetic. The world saw it. The palace cameras caught it. And within seconds, social media exploded. Prince Christian can't hide his joy. When Leonor reached the altar, he took her hands gently, whispering words only she could hear. A tear rolled down her cheek, and for a moment, even the archbishop hesitated, as if aware this wasn't just another vow, but a confession of real love. The ceremony began. The organ swelled. As they recited their vows, the crowd fell silent. Christian's voice cracked slightly on the word, forever. Leonor squeezed his hand, grounding him. That simple touch became the symbol of the day, tenderness and tradition. When the archbishop pronounced them husband and wife, a roar erupted outside. The bells clanged, the cannons fired from the harbor, and Christian leaned forward, pressing his forehead to Leonor's, whispering, "We made it." It wasn't protocol. It wasn't planned. It was love. As they walked out hand in hand, the sunlight broke through the clouds, scattering gold across the marble steps. King Felipe wiped his eyes. Queen Letizia smiled through tears. Even the Danish royals, known for their composure, clapped with genuine warmth. But what happened next surprised everyone. Instead of heading straight to the carriage, Leonor stopped at the top of the stairs. She turned to the crowd and waved, not as a distant royal, but as one of them. And Christian, breaking royal formality, kissed her hand before tens of thousands. It was spontaneous. It was beautiful. And the people roared louder than ever before. Reporters described the moment as the most human act ever seen in a royal wedding. Spanish newspapers called it the day the crown smiled. But the story didn't end there. Later that evening, during the reception at Amalienborg Palace, a private camera captured a moment between King Felipe and his daughter. He pulled her close and said softly, "You've given Spain more than a queen. You've given us hope." Leonor's eyes filled with tears. "I just followed my heart, Papa." Meanwhile, across the ballroom, Christian couldn't stop smiling. Every time Leonor spoke, his gaze softened. Every time she laughed, his face lit up. Guests whispered among themselves, marveling at how visibly in love the Danish prince was. Even Queen Margrethe reportedly commented, "He's never smiled like this before." As the night unfolded, the formality faded. The newlyweds danced their first dance to a Spanish guitar rendition of a Danish love song, a deliberate blend of their two worlds. Every step they took seemed symbolic: unity, respect, renewal. At one point, Christian lifted Leonor's hand and spun her gracefully. Cameras flashed. The image went viral within minutes. "Love Beyond Borders," the headlines read. But behind the beauty was something deeper. For Leonor, this was more than a wedding. It was a statement of independence. Years of preparation had shaped her into a poised, dutiful heir. But in that moment, she proved she was also her own woman, capable of choosing happiness without sacrificing duty. And Christian's joy. It wasn't just about love. It was about pride in standing beside a woman destined to rule. He knew the weight she carried. The expectations, the scrutiny, the constant judgment. Yet in her, he saw strength, not burden. Their union wasn't just romantic, it was revolutionary. As the live broadcast reached millions, royal watchers across the globe agreed, this was the beginning of a new era. No staged grandeur, no political posturing, just two young royals rewriting the rules of monarchy, through love. In the post-wedding interview, Christian was asked how it felt to marry the future Queen of Spain. He smiled, eyes glowing, and said simply, "It feels like coming home." Leonor looked at him, laughing softly. And now home is between two kingdoms. Their words struck hearts around the world. Because beneath the crowns, the titles, and the centuries of history, they reminded everyone what truly matters: love that is real, joy that cannot be hidden, and courage to live truthfully. By midnight, as fireworks lit the Copenhagen sky, Leonor and Christian stood on the palace balcony, hand in hand, surrounded by family and light. The crowd below chanted their names. The king and queen watched proudly. And for one breathtaking moment, all of Europe seemed united, not by power, but by emotion. When Christian turned to her and whispered, "Are you happy?" she answered softly, "More than I've ever been." And he smiled again, that same unguarded, radiant joy that captured the world earlier that day. The cameras zoomed in one last time, capturing the glow in his eyes. Because no matter how royal the crown, joy like that can never be faked. That was the moment the world understood. This wasn't just a royal wedding. It was a love story written in real time, raw, pure, and unforgettable. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian didn't just unite two thrones. They united millions of hearts, proving that even in a world of protocol and power, true joy still finds a way to shine through.